So Ty West Trilogy is finally complete with Maxxxine now out. I had the privilege of getting to see this with a group of people because I'm in a new state and just joined a little horror community here, and got to see it in a theater that was projecting it on film on 35mm, which did add a little bit to it that I thought was really, really special. And while I enjoyed the film quite a bit, I saw that other people in my group did not as much, and I can kind of see why, but I don't know, I just really enjoyed myself. I feel like if you're comparing it to X and Pearl, no, I don't think it quite measures up to those. That's fair. But I wasn't really watching it as the third part of a trilogy, which maybe that's on me. I was watching it as just a sleazy 80s Hollywood slasher picture or slash exploitation picture, and out of that, I enjoyed the heck out of myself. I myself just found this film to be a fulfillment of a promise. If you've got a character like this, who's obsessed with becoming famous around this time period, she's got to come to Hollywood, and it's got to be kind of disgusting. I mean, it's the 80s, you've got the background going on of the Night Stalker happening in town, which also adds to bits of satanic panic going on, which I've always been strangely fascinated with. You've got just... Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Los Angeles. Obviously, I wasn't around in the 80s. I was born in 88. I was mostly around in the 90s. But I've seen enough to know, like, yeah, it was kind of horrifying. And there's a sad reality of, since I just moved away from California, this movie made me strangely nostalgic for my hometown, especially seeing anything from the Universal Studios, because I used to pass that place on my way home from work. And yeah, I did get weirdly nostalgic in this kind of disgusting picture. I think overall, this movie was just kind of everything I was hoping it was going to be. And this character really grew on me a lot. I liked her fine in X, but in here we see that definitely that same character, but she's been through a lot of the trauma that happened in X. She's dealing with the aftermath of that. Mia Goth, of course, is just fantastic here, as you knew she would be. I also love the fact that, you know, she's this wannabe actress, and they could have easily just had her been, like, really hot and not very good, but from everything we've seen in the film, she's also a great actress. The character is. I think that makes things a lot more interesting. You also can't talk about this film without talking about Kevin Bacon and Wowzers Bowzers. He was something else in this movie. He was just like this really gross detective guy. I loved his Chinatown broken nose bandage, kept making me laugh. There are so many different little references to other films in here, or types of films, that I don't even know if I caught them all, and some of them I did catch. I'm not sure if they were just in my head or not. Example of that I haven't heard anyone mention, so it could just be a me thing, but there's a part of the film where someone is making a very kind of violent exploitation film that's very pro-Jesus, which reminded me of the director Ron Ormond, who used to make some pretty graphic films that were all about how you're gonna burn in hell and Jesus loves you, which I always thought was very fascinating. I wasn't sure if Ty West was referencing him or if that's just what went on in my head. If I'm gonna put any negative to the film, I didn't think it was long or anything, though I felt like some things could have been done with the editing. Maybe the pacing could have been a little bit better. And there is, I guess, a big plot twist that happens that, if it's meant to be a surprising plot twist, I think failed, because it's something that I guessed immediately at the beginning of the film, and I'm not necessarily great at always guessing twists, so if I got it, I assume it's pretty obvious. But if it's not meant to be that surprising, then I think it's good. So, if that makes any sense. Overall, though, I had a lot of fun with this film. I still think X is better, and I've heard, I'm embarrassed to say I have not seen Pearl yet. I tried to get to see it before I saw this film, but didn't have a chance. I hear Pearl is wonderful, but I think that whether you've seen the others and just want the end of the trilogy, or if you just like this kind of film, you're going to have a lot of fun with it. And I think Ty West is incredibly talented. I love House of the Devil. I love The Innkeepers. And I just can't wait to see what that guy does next. I think he's really fantastic.